Damn. Damn. Man, fuck you. Dick. Aw, adorable. Damn, man, poor Inui. Aw. Dude, that you're making me sad, bro. This is my stuff. What's up? Welcome back. Welcome to new. My name is Mark, and today we're back with another episode of Witch Hat Atelier. This is episode 12. We have one more episode to go. But as always, you can check out the reaction to it in the description down below. I'm not going to cover last episode. I wanted to get right into this. But as always, Patreon, as I said, down below. Check it out for the reaction. And then come back here for the review. Become a member. Price still lower. All jazz. Like and subscribe. But with that said, if you're new here, strap in. If you've been here before, you know what to do. Grab your snacks. Grab your drinks. Grab your notebooks. And let's talk about the episode. So, this episode was really, really good. We learned from Kifri, thankfully, that long ago, this cave that they're going through was home to the cavern nation of Romanon. And they were vain, arrogant people, and they also specialized in delicate magic craftsmanship. And to facilitate a welcome, visitor, welcome arrival from those that can benefit them, they created the cave, the Serpent-back cave thing, Serpent-back Road, and only the worthy can go through it. But as we learned from Kifri as well, unfortunately, which is not surprising once you hear what I'm about to say, they started judging each other, and those deemed unworthy were sacrificed their flesh and blood and all that, and were turned into golden statues. That's the least surprising thing out of everything that could happen. Because when they're too isolated from the rest of the world, eventually they are going to turn on each other. That's just how it goes. That's how groups work. Because there's always going to be something that goes wrong, or someone that wants more than the others. And so, that kind of stuff is always going to happen. It's the least surprising thing. And when Coco heard that, she was sad. She was like, but isn't magic supposed to be a power to bring color to people? To life and all that? Color to the world? And Kifri's like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And then he's like, if the next generation thinks that, then we might be okay. But then, as we're leaving him, Kifri says to himself again, magic is a power meant to bring color to the world. And then he says, I hope. Which, yeah, that's valid, honestly. Kifri's, he's an optimist at times, but he's also a realist. He knows that it's not as simple as that. Which I appreciate that he's not super duper optimistic and naive like that, man. I'm glad. I really am glad. Meanwhile, moving back to the cave and test and all that, Riche sees how it's winding, and she's like, yo, I'm just gonna YOLO it, essentially is what she says. She doesn't say it actually, that'd be funny, but no. She's like, I'm gonna YOLO it, and she just tries flying through. Unfortunately, her balance is very, very off once she's off the ground, and she just goes spinning around, and luckily she's saved by Iuni. Iuni. Both of them, I think. I hope. If I'm saying his name wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. Iuni. But Iuni saves her and explains, and because he's taken this test before, he explains that you can only stand straight while standing on the road. Otherwise, your balance is off tilt, essentially, and it's just not gonna go well, man. And I wrote down Iuni is so helpful because he is, man. It's so helpful. He gets in his feelings about how this is his second time through, or second or third time through, and he failed it already once or twice. But the fact remains, he's very helpful because he knows at least a part of what to do, which is really cool. And by the end of this episode, Iuni becomes a character who is arguably one of my favorite characters. I just love him so much, but we'll get to that. But thanks to Iuni, a goat knows how to use water now. Well, not knows how to. She knows that she can use water now to help show where it's safe to step. technically she figured it out on her own, but I want to give the credit to Inui because he's Uni, because he deserves the credit, man. And so they use gravity and all that to follow and know which steps are safe to go through and all that, which honestly really smart. I would have never thought of that. So real here. I would not have thought of that. I'm in this test. I'd be going based on instinct. I think if I was in this test, I'd probably be going based on instinct alone. I wouldn't be going based on the figure stuff out like that. I'm definitely more of an instinctual guy when it comes to tests and stuff. I just go with the flow. Get it? Water, flow. It's not my best joke. But anyways, moving on. We get some backstory from Riche again to learn more about her master, who I believe is her master, and I wrote down he's a dick. I called him a dick in the reaction as well, man, because he called her spells worthless. And they're not worthless, they're her spells, man. The dude's an asshole, man. I hope he's dead. I hope we don't see him again. If we do see him again, I hope Kifri or Orugi will kick his ass, bro. Meanwhile, at the same time, Riche, she's trying to motivate herself, I think, in a way. And I wrote down about how different Riche and Uni is. They're so different in how they work. In that Uni, he wants the right answers. He wants to go for all the right answers because it's a test, and he believes going for the right answers is the right choice. The right answers. I should do quotations for that. But Riche, she's against that. She wants to just go with the flow, do her own thing, and just do what she wants. And honestly, I think they even each other out. They kind of balance each other out in a way, which is interesting. Although definitely Riche definitely has more of an impact on Iuni than the other way around. But that's not surprising, man. But also, I can't. The thing is, I can't blame Iuni for how he feels because he doesn't want to fail the test again, and I don't blame him, especially because we learned that his asshole master he just puts him down all the time, always telling him that he can't do it. I'm not surprised that he's internalized this shit, bro. I'm surprised he's still there. If I were him, I would have ran away a long time ago or killed him. Probably, yeah. In a magical world, I definitely would have crashed out at some point if I'm practicing magic and all that, and the guy that's supposed to be teaching me is instead just putting me down, basically calling me worthless, stuff like that. I'd crash out at some point. I'm surprised Uni hasn't crashed out yet, but hopefully after this episode leads to a start of him crashing out. He would have a justified crash out if he crashed out. It would be justified, man. But where am I? Meanwhile, at the same time, Coco and them, they're doing their own thing, but then Coco's like, hey, is there any other witches supposed to be here? Kifri's like, no. The other guy left. Why do you ask? And she's like, I saw something. A robe. And I knew immediately what was going on. Turns out, unsurprisingly, they were being watched. They obviously didn't see the robe, but we saw it eventually, but they were hiding. The invisible body, or the bodiless brimmed cap, was doing their thing. And I wrote down, what exactly is their goal? I don't know what their goal is. Their goal is obviously Coco, but I don't know. I have thoughts, but I'm gonna wait until we get to more towards the end of the episode, when we get to the point. But meanwhile, back inside, Riche has an idea. She thinks outside the box, and she flies across the because the water only goes so far because gravity is unfortunately helpful, but also not at the time. And because the bridge is broken, the road is broken. And so she thinks outside the box and she flies across it using a stone ribbon, which fair enough, man. She takes the Murphon with him, and I should also add, the Murphons are so adorable. They're so cute, bro. I want a Murphon, man. I want a pet one. I don't care if they're a baby or an adult. I want to pet them. They look cute. I want one, man. It's not fair. Anyways. Where are we? Meanwhile, also, a goat follows Riche's lead and creates a stone path, which pretty cool if you ask me. But then Iuni, he Iuni, man, he has so much internalized trauma, bro. Internalized self-hatred, man. It's insane. For example, once they're all across, they're like, come on, Iuni, you can do it. But then he's like, no, I can't. Then he shows that his hands are shaking. And it's poor kid, man. He says, and then he says he can't draw well when people are watching because all the eyes are on them. It's kind of like the expectations and pressure of people watching him. That's like making it hard for him to focus, man. And so he even tried tried preparing ahead of time by like hiding himself away, which love his resourcefulness. That's pretty cool. But he tried hiding himself away and like preparing, but also at the same time I wrote down Iuni needs a better master, and that I actually teared up. I genuinely, you could probably find the moment in the reaction that like a tear actually escaped my eye, man. That's so sad, so depressing what happened with him, man. And but then Iuni is like, yo, I want to be someone else. You talk to Riche silly, so I'm like, you want to be yourself? I want to be someone else. And that's the most depressing shit I've ever heard in a while, man. Like, and you can see how depressed it made me because I wrote a small smiley face. I don't know if you can see it. Right there, smiley sad face, not smiley face. I wrote a sad face. That's me, sad. I was sad, man, seeing that, man. But then Riche is like, yo, I'm gonna talk my shit, and she tells Iuni that he can do it. And Riche also tells Iuni to make a way for him to be alone. Because this is the world of magic, as she said. This is magic. If magic can do it, magic can do just about anything almost. So you can make a way for you to be alone. Because he can draw when he's alone. So he just gotta make himself alone. I was gonna say make himself blind, but that would be counterproductive. But then Iuni, he's like cowering down, covering his eyes. He's struggling, bro. But then he decides to hide in the cloak, his cloak that he's like wearing, that they're all wearing to like shapeshift or whatever. And he's like trying to do that, and that's the only thing he can think of. Then he's getting into his own head about thinking about how everyone might be laughing at him, disappointed. Meanwhile, a goat, she wants to go do something, but then Riche's like, don't interfere. Stops her. And it's just, damn, man, this whole scene was sad, bro. Especially when it comes to the realization that for Iuni, when he realizes that no one's laughing at him, no one's disappointed in him. Okay, a goat might be disappointed if I'm being honest here. She's had some growth, but I don't think she's the kind to laugh. She's definitely the kind to be disappointed. But everyone else is not laughing or being disappointed. And what really got to me, like how wholesome, bittersweet, emotional this was when he realized that no one's actually laughing at him, no one's disappointed in him. This is also probably a new experience for him too, which, again, this is sad as fuck. But then, he says to himself, the only one casting a curse to sabotage me was the me in the mirror. And damn, that hit hard, bro. And it's kind of true. Like, he's his own worst enemy. But also, his master is also his worst enemy, man. I really hope that by the time this is all said and done, Iuni gets a new master. Maybe Elira. I don't know if she has an apprentice already. But she seems like she's taken a liking to him. And, like, we also see that he's, like, that not even the proctor, her, is being like disappointed or anything. She's watching him intently, seriously waiting, and like I hope she becomes his master. I think he could use a positive master, not whatever the fuck he has now. And so now he has a solution. He's come up with a solution now that he's started to focus. He looks at the cloak inside, the seals and stuff, and he found a solution and did it. And I'm gonna paraphrase here because I don't actually know what exactly he did right away. Well, I know what he did now, but at the time I was writing this down, I didn't know exactly what he did. But he basically made a shadow spell cloak thing, and what was even better is that he called it his spell, which was that's such a big deal for him, like calling it his spell. It's clearly that's clearly a big deal when like a witch calls something their spell. And then so we finally learned, thanks to Elira almost killing him, because he turned into a giant thing of shadows. She almost killed him, kind of with like a wind spell, but then he explains that he made a cloak of shadow. He just removed the mirror part, I think, and just made a cloak of shadow thing, and now he can be in the dark and cast spells alone. Which, okay, in out of context, that sounds sad that he has to be alone. But but like within the context of the story and everything we learned so far, I'm happy for him, man. And the way he's like so happy and everything, I wrote down, I'm happy. I'm happy for how happy he is, because he's just so happy now. He's smiling and everything, and even bigger news, he wants to be himself just a little bit more. Because before he wanted to be someone else. He didn't want to be himself. But now with a little bit of confidence, he's starting to feel like, hey, I can be myself more. And I wrote down, it's just so he's so precious. He's just so sweet, man. And so so he gets into the swing of things. Meanwhile, Elira, she tells Riche that tests may have one path, but the spells used to get there are different. And then she says, tests aren't so bad now, huh? And then Riche's like, yo, She pouts a little bit. Genuinely just pouts a little bit. But then she's like, I'm still mad at Keyfree. And she says the most adorable thing so far. She says that he's earned an Angry Che point. Angry Riche. It's so adorable. She's adorable, man. Riche, man. And but it's clear she's starting to come around on tests. Not all tests. Just some tests. And then finally, to wrap up the episode, we get what I can only describe as a what the fuck situation. Elira got kidnapped. I almost said Riche. Elira got kidnapped. Genuinely, the like brim cap that was behind that was there, watching Kogo, somehow just behind Riche, not Riche, Elira, and just like, yo, I'm gonna kidnap you, bro. Let's go. Doesn't say anything actually, but like, that's basically the sentiment. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? She got kidnapped. And but before they fully take her away, definitely for plot reasons, they could have done it immediately, but for plot reasons, they didn't immediately take Elira away. She tells the kids not to be led astray, and she says something about forbidden magic, but she's cut off. But then also before that, she sends her cap away, her hat away to presumably to Keyfree, if I'm guessing. And it's really cool how she sends her hat away. And the fact that she's like, obviously she's worried, but she's not scared or anything. She's calm despite everything. Hell yeah, man. I will say, I hope nothing happens to her. If something happens to her, I'm gonna genuinely be pissed. Genuinely. She grew on me a lot as a character. She lost some points because she wasn't actually the big giant brush buddy. But ahead of time, she over time, this time especially, she's become a character that I really like. If I had to do a ranking right now of my favorite characters, and I'll do one probably again after the end of next episode, but the ranking of my favorite characters: Orugio, Iuni, Riche, Keyfree, Rush Buddy, Elira, and the one brim cap that's been our nemesis from the beginning. That's my list so far, top 7. And so with that said, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Check out the Patreon for the reaction. The link will take you directly to it, probably. And it'll also be in a pinned comment. And yeah. I don't know what else to say. So let me know your thoughts on the comment down below. But until next time, Patreon, my name is Mark. Never stop being yourself. Stay safe out there, and I will see all you incredible people in the very next video.